Hi, thanks and welcome for joining me here today. I'm going to be covering how to optimize your physical therapy website to maximize patient conversions. So, if you've ever wondered about how well your website is stacking up to the top websites that convert the most visitors to callers, then you'll find everything that you need today. I'm going to be going over all the must have things that may be currently missing on your website that's actually stopping potential callers in your area to scheduling that appointment. And I'm going to be sharing clear criterias on what's good, what's bad, and the most important factors that go into leading a potential patient into calling you for a screening or an evaluation, as opposed to these leads just using your website as a brochure. So everything I'm going to be sharing today is based on facts and proven data from our current campaigns with our clients. So if that sounds good, then I'm going to dive in. First, I want to talk about who we are and why you should listen to us. So, I'm the author of the Direct Access Patient Acquisition Masterclass. This is a very detailed guide that's currently available online on how to generate potential patients in pain from your area to them seeing your PT practice and coming in through digital marketing efforts from 2020 and beyond. We've got industry events such as the private practice section, as you can see in that photo. We've had articles published about our company in Forbes, Entrepreneur Magazine, ABC News, the New York Weekly, NBC, and more. We've spent over $2.5 million on marketing and advertising, and we've also worked with some of the biggest PT franchises in the United States to just the smaller ones, the one clinic locations. But much more importantly than that, my team and I have spoken and worked with hundreds of physical therapy practice owners with their marketing in the most competitive markets across the country. Just helping some of them grow from less than 10 patients visits per week to just having maxed out patient schedules. And we've helped bring virtually obscure practices in the city where they're, getting no traffic. None of them are getting clicks to their website at all, to being the most dominant players in the area, getting hundreds of leads every single month. So, what I'm going to share with you today isn't based off some theory or some book that I read somewhere. It's based off real experience working with practices just like yours. And here are just some of the clients that we've served over the years. And here's the issue as I see it. I want to cover why there is even a problem with your website and how to improve conversions and why I'm even spending a whole session talking about it. Right now, most practices are making a big investment in their marketing budget when they're spending money on marketing coordinators who are building relationships with local physicians and doctors, on maybe a marketing agency that helps with their website, content on their social media, ads, or SEO. Well, maybe you're doing ZocDoc, doing workshops, or you may be in a coaching program that you're in that teaches you how to do your marketing or manage your business. But right now you're trying to find other ways to generate patients other than just relying on physician referrals. But the same problem that we see is that despite all of those efforts, there's still not enough qualified leads, and your return on investment is just way too low. Ultimately, I think the biggest challenge and the biggest problem that most of you are looking to solve for is the empty spaces on your schedules. The problem you're dealing with is empty rooms with empty appointments on your physical therapist's schedules. And if we can't generate the leads and really convert at the highest level possible, then we can't grow and get to the number of patient visits that we're after. So if you don't constantly have phones ringing from patients wanting treatment, then you could really be bleeding money. Especially with the cuts and reimbursements happening every single year, we really need to maximize the number of visits that you or your team is seeing. And if you can't consistently bring in leads and really convert as many people as you can, then the practice can't grow their bottom line, and you may not be able to retain your valuable therapists. You may not be able to achieve the freedom from overworking 5 to 7 days a week yourself, and you may not be able to get to that impact that you wanted on your patients' lives that owners wanted when they started their practice. That's why what we're looking to solve for today is to make sure you've got a great website that's built to convert. And the goal is to make it very consistent at taking a visitor that landed on your site from whatever channel that they were coming from, either from ads, from Google search, from a referral, from your social media, and converting them into a patient that actually calls in or requests an appointment. And so that's the opportunity that we're after. Ultimately, if you want to get your physical therapist running with full schedules, phones ringing, evals being done, then we're going to be covering that right now. So you already know you have a lot of competition out there. Maybe it's a local hospital, it's a bigger PT practice near you. There's chiropractors, other doctors, orthopedic surgeons, and your website is the hub. And this is why it's so important, because everything you do, from your pay-to-click ads to social media content to word of mouth referrals to physician referrals, everything will lead back to your website. And that's where your potential patients are going to decide, does this look like a quality organization that's better than the other options that I have out there, who has the answers to my problems? If your website isn't built to convert those ideal patients, then it's going to take a negative drag on all of the other marketing that you do. But if you can get it right, then you can make all of the marketing you do even more effective. So I'm going to explain why that website conversion is so important using numbers. So let's say in scenario one, you're getting 1,000 website visitors per month. So everything that you have with your web presence, from your blogs, your YouTube, Facebook, or whatever you have traffic coming in, you're getting 1,000 clicks to your website that are viewing your page. And let's say you have a conversion rate of 5%. We're being very conservative of this. Usually we see websites with a higher conversion rate than this, but we're just using 5% for the number's sake. And so 5% of 1,000 would lead to 50 calls or leads. And let's say you're converting 30% of these callers to a new plan of care coming in. In the end, you'll end up with 15 patients walking through your doors getting treatment. So let's say you have an average of $1,000 in total patient revenues from these visits in total. You'll see $15,000 in the end. Now let's compare that with scenario two, where you're getting the same website visitors per month. You didn't spend any additional dollars on ads. You didn't spend any money on branding or marketing. You only tapped into the existing traffic that's already hitting your website right now. So with a 10% conversion rate, that which you've gotten from optimizing your website, again, this is a conservative conversion rate. Usually we see more than that, but you'll get 100 calls from the same 1,000 visitors with a 10% conversion rate. And with the same 30% call to new patient conversion rate, you'll see 30 new plan of cares, leading to $30,000 in the end. So just from optimizing the conversion elements on your site, you can see double the amount of patients coming in. And this is exactly why website conversions is just so important, because with all else the same, you're just getting more callers from the same traffic, leading to much more revenues in the end. Now, here are the 9 most important elements for website conversions that we've laid out. First, we want to make sure that you're really speaking to your target patients. We need to address their fears, their frustrations, and their desires. What they're thinking about is, are you really going to fix my pain? Am I wasting my time coming in for an appointment? Is this actually different from anything else that I've actually tried? Can I really avoid surgery and get off pain meds and be able to pick up my kids or do the things that I love again? So speak to all of that messaging on your website if you can do that for them. Those concerns being answered is going to improve your conversions on the website dramatically. And number 2, we want to be real and authentic, meaning we want to use real pictures, ideally of the owner, real pictures of the staff, real pictures of what your clinic looks like. People want to be serviced by people that they know, like, and trust. And so the real people behind the business should be front and center of the website. A lot of the websites that we look at, they just use stock photography. They use a basic, back pain photo, pictures of a cheesy stock therapist with a patient. You want to use real pictures of the owner, use real pictures of team, the treatments, the practices. Number 3, you want to use videos to further leverage your personality and your brand. So one picture is worth 1,000 words. then one video is worth 10,000 words. And we recommend a welcome video detailing things like here's who we are, here's why patients choose us, here's some of the results that we have achieved for our patients. Sure, maybe when patients are being referred to your practice, them scheduling an appointment would maybe be a relatively quick process. They might just look and be like, okay, here's some pictures, here's what they do for physical therapy, here's a number to call. But if there's someone that is looking around and deciding which practice is the best to getting them to their goals, and they see a video of you explaining the benefits of going to see, you and your team versus your competitor, then a lot of them will engage with that. Most clinics don't create that kind of video. So here's some video ideas that we know works for conversion. A welcome video, something like, hey, welcome to our website. Here's who we are. Here's what we do. Here's why people see us instead of other treatments or doctors. A video of each of your services. So if you do manual therapy, if you do dry needling, if you have some sort of technology like ultrasound, if you treat shoulder pain, knee pain, back pain, then you can talk about those things with your services. And you don't have to go too crazy and hire a big production crew to shoot a fancy video. It can be something as simple as just standing in your clinic with a patient or your staff and just talking about your service. On your website, you want to be featuring your reviews. People want to know what kind of service other people have gotten and if it's worked for them. And they want to do business with people that have good reviews. They're going on your Google My Business listing. They may be going to your Facebook page. They'll go onto your site to see real testimonials. It's all part of that persuasion and conversion aspect. And 5, you really want to have all of your foundational basics in order. First, you want to have clear calls to action, which means having a phone number in your header in the top right. We want to make sure there's some sort of web form or even a web chat where prospects can message your practice directly because maybe they're not available to make a phone call at that instance. You want to add any credibility symbols that you have. Maybe you're an APTA member, maybe you're board certified in something, any awards your practice has, how many years they've been around. You should feature all of that. All of those things will add to your credibility as being the authority in your community. And the next one, you should have clear calls to action on each of your service pages. So if you've got a page that talks about back pain relief, sure, the lead will want information about their back pain, but at the end of that, page, you want to tell them what to do next. Something like, hey, click here to schedule a free screening. At the end of each service page that you have, tell them exactly what to do next. Something like schedule a call to reserve an appointment with a physical therapist and finally fix the root cause of your problem. We need to make sure that the website is mobile optimized and friendly. We're finding that almost 60 or 70% of visitors are getting to the website from a mobile device. So we really want to make sure that not only does everything fit on the mobile screen, but it's a fast loading experience where they can just click a button to call your office, just to make everything very seamless for them to schedule that appointment. The next thing that helps website conversion is having a website live chat. So you want to leverage chat, especially in a two-way text, to answer some questions in real time. There's been a major shift from people wanting to pick up their phones to just starting a text conversation. So just having another modality which allows them to contact you rather than just signing up for a web form or calling your phone number directly is going to have more people of those that prefer to text just opting in. And the last thing is that site speed matters a lot, not only just on the conversion side, but also it affects your ability to rank organically. So you want your website to load quickly, like maybe under a few seconds, because this doesn't just affect your ranking on SEO, but it matters a lot for your user experience. And it's going to cause many people to drop off your site if your page just isn't loading. So in a report by Google, over 40% of mobile consumers actually turn to a competitor's site after a bad mobile experience. So yeah, those are the 9 important elements for website conversions. I know there was like a big block of text, but in the upcoming slides, I'm going to show you visually and examples of what these 9 things would look like on a website. Now let's talk about your ideal patient avatar. We need to see through the eyes of your customer avatar, and that means finding out exactly what they're up against, what their goals are, their pain points, and their fears. If we can infuse that into the copy of the website, then it can make a huge difference in getting them to make that decision to call your offers. So it starts looking at your ideal patient who may be 30 years of age or older, typically female, occasionally male, and this ideal mom makes the decisions as the head of the household. And this person can also refer her family to your practice and her friends. Ideally, they'll be able to afford your services, making about $60,000 a year and above. They're educated, they focus on their family, career, and their health. So some of the pains and frustrations that this customer avatar might deal with is that they have an injury and they just want the best treatment out there that works. So they want a natural solution, meaning they want to avoid surgery or injections. Maybe they're taking pain medications and they're tired of it and just want to get back to their normal pain-free lifestyle. And they're frustrated because they want a real answer. They're tired of going to doctors and getting different opinions that isn't exactly what they really want. Everyone in America is busy right now. People have kids, work, life, but this ideal patient is willing to come into your practice for treatment if that treatment will help them get to their goals. So they're frustrated with everything that's stopping them from getting them to their goals and resolving their issues. And the clearer you are able to zero in on this ideal patient profile, the better you can write the messaging to convert these visitors into callers. So now we're diving deeper into this ideal patient avatar. We're going to be talking about the fears and implications that they have and their goals and their desires. So more of the fears is, wasting time and paying for treatments that doesn't work. Maybe they've seen, chiropractors, other PTs, going to doctors, having surgery, and none of that really had a long-term impact on their injury. They're also scared of paying too much for the same solution that they could go elsewhere for. They don't want to deal with a therapist that doesn't care about them or a therapist that doesn't know what they're doing. They also don't want to be waiting too long in your office when they do schedule that appointment. Again, everybody is busy, and all of these things are what they fear, and they're also scared of their injury getting worse, and they don't know what to do about it. Now let's talk about their goals and desires. They do want to fix the root cause of their problem so that they don't have to worry about it anymore. Um, that allows them to return back to their normal lives, spending time with their kids or being able to work normally again. These are all the things that they want to do. Maybe they want to travel, go on vacation pain free. They want to make sure that their pain and stiffness goes away and that it stays away for good. They want a natural solution, and this means avoiding pain medications, surgeries, or injections. They want to have fun. Instead, maybe they want to go shopping, traveling, go on vacation, and they just really want to be active again with having a peace of mind to get back to what they really want. Maybe it's to make more money, get a bigger house, provide more for their family, and this is all of their goals and desires, and we need to really hit that on the copy to speak to these people and get them into your doors. In that case, the messaging that we found for what really works and drives a high conversions for website visitors into people that actually schedule an appointment are some of these points that we have here. One message could be to return back to their normal life and having them to do the things that they love again. Two, this is a natural treatment that works to avoid surgery, medications, or injections. Number three, find the root cause of your pain and stiffness for a long-term relief. And lastly, we can talk about about having highly skilled therapists, who have 30 plus years of experience, compassionate therapists who will treat you like family. So really, the messaging of this website has to resonate with your ideal patients. It helps it has to, help them quickly feel like you're the answer to their problem. And that's where all the messaging stems from. You have to answer on how quickly you're able to position yourself as the expert authority to what they're looking for, and also show them that you're caring and trustworthy enough to go to. And basically having all this dialed in onto your messaging is going to really separate you from your competition. And basically being cognizant of all of these fears, desires, goals, and when you address all of these, it's going to make a much bigger impact than people that don't address any of these messages. So this is an example of using real photos and pictures of the team, and this is the Human Performance and Wellness Center in South Carolina. We've got Dr. David Hall in the middle with his staff standing next to him, smiling at the patients. So if you've got pictures of your team, use it. It's really going to improve your conversions with the fact that you're being authentic. It's really important that you're leveraging your personality so that people on the other side of this website know that you're a real person, and you can get them to like and trust you much more easily with authenticity like this. In another example, we talked about having pictures, real pictures, not just stock photography, but the actual people in the company, and not just a random spokesperson, right? And this is Paul Jones in Louisiana. He's the owner and the figurehead of the practice, and he's the bottom line responsible for the patient's experience when they walk into the clinic and when they receive treatment for the injuries that they're experiencing. We talked about leveraging multimedia and having a welcome video about the services that your practice provides. So this is a good example of what they really do at Jones Physical Therapy, and there's a welcome video that displays the personality of this practice owner. We also talked about leveraging both reviews and testimonials on your site for that social proof. So if you've got a bunch of 5-star reviews, add that to your site. Yeah, you can make it clear where that source is coming from whether it's from Google reviews, Facebook, ZocDoc, Yelp, wherever it might be. That way the leads can see that the company is real and established and legitimate when they've seen these reviews from people that have gotten good service from the website. Another way to leverage social proof is to take videos of the patients giving testimonials, and with these videos, instead of just reading a Google review, you're going to see a whole clip of this patient's experience within the clinic. And this practice does it well them having with them telling why their patients love us, and them featuring the real patient testimonial videos on their website. You're also going to want to make sure that you have a web form on your website where these leads can communicate with you. So this is a really quick and easy way for patients to actually get more information and contact you if they don't feel like calling your phone number right away, in the case that maybe they're busy. So in this form, you're also going to want to collect their email and phone number, so you can also further nurture these leads with follow-up. Maybe it's information about more about your services, or just sending them more patient testimonials or reviews to try to nurture that relationship and try to get them to come in. So adding a live chat on your website will typically lead to a 20% increase in conversion rates. And it's really good for people that prefer to text for more information rather than just calling in. This is what a web chat will look like for a mobile view. They would enter in their name and number, and this two-way texting platform, your team can respond instantly with. They can answer any questions that these leads would have, and also be able to book them in for that appointment. So this example here of this nice little chart helps demonstrate to the website visitors why they should choose this physical therapy practice over the large corporate franchises and hospitals in the area. Some of the things that they include are, compassionate staff, friendly clinic atmosphere, hands-on treatment approach. Patients see the same therapist every appointment, 35 years of orthopedic experience. So anything that makes you or your practice unique, make sure you use that over your competitors, because people that visit your website, they really wouldn't know who to go to unless you actually make give them the reasons why and make that obvious. So this is one way to do that. So the other important thing that we brought up before is the page speed. So you can do a little test yourself. If you Google page speed insights and you go to the website called pagespeed.web.dev, you can enter in your website URL, and it should give you a profile of a score of what your page speed is. Usually we recommend having it around 80. So on the left here, you can see that that's a 43. And that's going to make people drop off when they start loading your site and it actually doesn't load, because people are very antsy and they click off things when it doesn't load fast in today's day and age. So the other image on the right, the speed score of 99, where everything is loading well and fast, that's where you want your website to be. This not only helps with just the user experience itself, it helps with conversions and it helps with your online rankings. There's another thing that I want to talk about, is that there's conversions that happen from people picking up the phone and calling, but then there's also the conversion that happens after someone gets into the website, after they submit a request and after they call in. So I think the challenge that I'm seeing is that these practices, and in a lot of cases, yes, there's not enough leads, but what happens after in the scheduling process, after those leads come in through your website or social media. And this is one of the biggest marketing issues that is facing practices, is those unconverted leads. And so here's the problem. Usually this is what we see during the calls. After the lead calls in to the office, they ask, how much is the service? Do you take insurance? And then they hang up 50 to 60% of the time. And because we listen to thousands of these calls, every month, and they weren't converting, but they were in your area and they were interested in your services. The other thing is 90% of web forms just fail to convert. So we've all got the web form, we've all got the chat. It feels like these web forms are just where leads kind of go to die. And these are reasons that you aren't converting at the level that you can be. It's that these leads aren't being followed up in 5 to 15 minutes. And if they're not followed up quickly, they kind of go cold. So, when they hit your website, they're interested and they fill out the form. But after that, if they don't get contacted within this time period, they're just going to forget and maybe move on to the next practice or solution that they want to try. So the other reason is that these average patients, they need to be followed up with 5 to 7 times before they actually book. That's the average of what we see. So they need multiple touch points to actually convince them to want that service. And also today's customers, they actually prefer to text over making a phone call or an email. So here's the solution. Whenever someone submits their information in the form, they don't get a call back. And you can do this for a test on your own website. Now picture this. Everyone that sends a message either through web forms, web chats, notifies your staff through text and email. So that lead is now able to get called within 2 minutes or less. At the same time, if that lead doesn't pick up, they get an automated email notification that says something like, hey, you submitted a form on our website, just wanted to reach out and see how we can help you. They also get an automated text message saying the same thing. Now imagine that happened every time a lead came into your office via those web forms, via web chat or Google My Business Chat, or they called in and you didn't answer. Imagine what that would do for your conversion rates, because your speed to follow up is the most critical thing. The other part is automating your follow-ups afterwards, because not everybody answers and not everybody is ready to put a call. And so what we want to do is have automation, and this can easily be done where, okay, yeah, they didn't convert yet, so let's send them a text tomorrow, and let's send them a call the next day, and then the next day after that. If you can be the company that's staying on top of their mind, where they still have their pain and injury going on the back of their mind, they're going to want to resolve that issue, and you're going to win more of the patients. It's all in the speed and the follow-up. So now let's take a look at the numbers of this follow-up process. And most of you guys have people in the office to answer the phones, and they're not salespeople. They're not focused on conversion. Their job is just to answer the phones and book appointments if the patient requests one, right? So only the ones that say, "Yeah, I'd like to get scheduled for 3 p.m. Thursday." This is leading to that 30% conversion rate. The other 70% hang up. They would need another call, another follow-up text. So now what we found was that speed and follow-up processes in place, you can get that really dialed in, and you can take that conversion rate up to 60% or more. So in the first case, you're going to, let's say you have 100 leads and you have a 30% conversion rate without any follow-up, without a good process in place, and you get 30 patients with an average patient value of $1,000. 30 patients for $1,000, that equals to 30,000 in revenue. Now in the other case, with 60% conversion rates, you're going to get 60 patients for the same number of leads, and with the same average patient value, you're going to hit 60,000 in revenue. And this can make a huge difference for your practice. It really makes every marketing effort that you do or every lead that you generate much more valuable. So I know this graph is very big and complex, but what our app does is put marketing automation onto the back end of your lead flow. The bottom line is when someone gets to your website where they submit a form and you don't answer, what will happen is that a text message and phone call gets sent immediately saying something like, "Hey, did you want to schedule an appointment?" It also puts them onto the track as all your other leads and keeps following up with them until they say, "Okay, I want an appointment," or "I'm not interested." Now, this is really small to see, and I'm not going to try to explain all these steps to you right now, but I want to encourage you to implement something like this into your practice, even something as simple as a missed call text follow-up. You can convert a considerable amount of leads more per month, and you can also schedule a demo on our website. We've already seen the impact that it can have, and this app is also available on mobile, on iPhone and Android. Now I want to circle back and give a summary of the most important elements for website conversions. First, we need to make sure that you're really speaking to your target audiences. With your ideal patient avatar in mind, you can craft your messaging that relates to your patient in mind, making them call your office instead of another competitor. This means addressing all of their fears, desires, and goals. We want to be real and authentic. We want to use pictures, ideally of the owner, real pictures of the staff. People want to be serviced by people that they know, like, and trust. And so the real people behind the businesses should be front and center of your website. Use videos to further leverage your personality and brand. A video is much more effective at showing your ideal patients what the benefits of coming in for a treatment would be. These multimedia content will help you separate yourself from your competitors and all the other treatments that they've tried before. On your website, you want to feature your reviews. Patients want to know what kind of service other people have gotten. It just matters more what heaps of other people in their community say about you than you can say about yourself. Now, you would have to have all these fundamental basics of a website such as having a phone number on the top right corner, a web form that leads can submit their information to, and authority symbols that make you more credible, networks you're in, certifications, and awards that you have. You want to have very clear call to actions, which means if you've got a service page that talks about back pain relief, then you need to tell them what to do next, like schedule a free consultation, screening, or an evaluation at your practice. In today's world, we need to make sure that the website is mobile, optimized, and friendly. We're finding that almost 60 or 70% of visitors are getting to the website from a mobile device. So we really want to make sure that this mobile view that they're landing on provides a easy and fast way for them to see what you're all about and give them the options to call you easily. You want to leverage chat that has two-way texting. There's been a major shift from people wanting to pick up their phones to just starting a text conversation. If you don't have web chat, you'll be missing out on the people that prefer to communicate through this method. And 9, site speed matters a lot, not only on the conversion side, but it also affects your ability to rank organically. You want the website to load quickly. Not only does this affect your ranking for SEO, but also your user experience. It's going to cause many people to drop off your site if your page is not loading. And Google reports that about 40% of mobile consumers turn to a competitor site after a bad mobile experience. And lastly, we talked about having automated follow-ups and fast notifications to get the leads that are connecting to your practice responded to and scheduled to. So one of the reasons why I created this presentation was to speed up the learning curve and give practice owners valuable insights that can help them schedule and convert more patients. We're going to be offering free online marketing plans at no cost and no pressure to you if you'd like our team to do an audit. In this review, we can talk about your online visibility and website conversion effectiveness. We can show you how well your practice is ranking within your local community of the search engine results page. You can go to directaccessmarketers.com to schedule this free strategy session. We'll do a breakdown of how well your website is doing, what conversion elements you may be missing, and what you could be doing better. We'd love to answer any questions that you have and hope that you have gotten good insights. We understand that all practices have their own unique stories, challenges, and situations. Ultimately, our goal for you is to help you build a proven website that maximizes the amount of traffic and maximizes the conversions from visitors to callers. And two, to show you what the top strategies are so you never have to waste your money and time on bad marketing strategy ever again. So we hope to speak to you soon. And cheers to your success.